Hello and welcome back to Factorio Fixit. My name's Negative Root and let's get cracking. We're here today in Silman's factory again. Now I'll just reload it so we can have a look at and see where he's up to. So 15 hours, 20 minutes, that's what this factory's up to. Now he's redesigned it a couple of times and done a bit of research and then redesigned it again and changed things around again. So we've got the main bus idea. You remember that we changed things around pretty heavily in the last factory to try and get it to work better. So in this factory we're going to run around and do a whole bunch of optimization and hopefully get it to work a little bit better for him. Now this is all planned to be heavily upgradable. That's the thoughts behind it. Now, first things first, I spoke a little while ago about rebalances and when this design would work. Now here's an example of when it won't work. I'll just take all these out because they're no good. Now basically what you want to do to get that design to work, what you need to do is have it done the once and only the once. After that you can't have any more, because what this will do is this will shift half of that line onto the inside line. That's what that rebalancer will do. If you have things on both sides of the line, it's not going to work. Now we'll do the same thing here on this bad boy. This is one of the only situations where this kind of rebalancer will work. Otherwise you want the full twisty one, which I'll demonstrate later. Okay, so that's that. Rightio. So that will split the iron 50-50 between the two sides. So that's what we're after. Now we'll move into the factory proper and see if we can upgrade things a bit. You notice that you only need it to here. That's the max. Now again we have another situation where there's too many of them. Just need to fix it, get it all straightened out. Okay, so there's one thing here that'll make it work all fine. Now I'll do this to all the factories because that is the name of the game after all. We're supposed to be fixing things. Now this has gone too far, so it needs to be there because that'll pick up the last thing on the line. Now apologies for not having advanced info on. Yeah, we need that splitter back, and that'll go there. That's perfect. Now then, that'll pressurize the line, which is nice. Now, better way of doing this, instead of putting in a U-turn, which will actually cost you compression, better way of doing it is actually come off the corner and then go into a splitter and do it that way. That shifts it over without any loss of compression. As fast as you can get them in, it'll send them back out again. Now I'm wondering what's happening there, because that's the second time it's done that to me. Anyway, so we'll fix all of these. Now this factory is made to be heavily upgradable. What I would question though is the amount. Long story short, it's pretty over designed. There is no way you will need the capacity that is currently available in this factory. That needs to be there. Right, these have gone too far as well. Right, that's fine. So there's never ever going to be a situation where you're like, well, I'm going to, like, let me come over here. There's never ever going to be a situation where you want to send red science somewhere other than your labs. You know, I don't know whether he's planning to send this to the other side, but That's kind of useless there. Don't know why that's happening. You're better off just doing something like this, sending this in here like this. Okay, that'll work. Now, what we do here is a similar kind of thing. Actually, we'll redesign this entire input for the science. Okay, because I'll show you what else you can do. There's a couple of different ways that you could split these off after you get it to where you want it to go. Now this we will actually run down here a little bit. Now what we'll do is, yeah, come down here, go one past it. Right, that's perfect. Now this is going to actually reverse the order on the line. Well, that's fine. That's just how it is. Okay, that's that, and that's that. Now that is a better way of going. Now if you wanted to add in, you know, for example, a second line of labs, what you could do is just introduce a inserter here, and then take this over here. You'll notice that you've got red and green science there. That's if you wanted to expand it sometime down the track, but for the most part this is going to be plenty. Okay, so that's that. Oops. Alright, so that's that fixed. Now we'll come back and we'll continue working away on all of these things. Now just want to point out again, with the copper cable on belts, you're never ever going to feed a decent line of these doing it this way. You need to go with direct insertion. But people insist on doing it, so you know, I think as soon as you get in the late game, you realise that it just doesn't cut the mustard. Like, it's nowhere near good enough. It's nowhere near fast enough. You just can't get enough out of it, and that's what prompts a major redesign. So when that happens, then you realise that, okay, you can't put copper cable on a belt. It just doesn't work. Okay. Okay. There we go, done. RTO. Now I realise this is all upgradable, but for the most part you can just have it sitting there like that and then upgrade from there. Now that's all fine, that'll work. There we go, done. So there's our copper cable done. That's good. Right, yeah, now this is broken. This has got a backwards underground belt. So we need to correct that and get that running again, because that'll set our inserters going. So we'll correct this as well. We're not even going to get to look at oil in this episode, I don't think. Okie dokie. Right. We've got splitters for days now. That's alright though. Right, there we go. So there's that. Now this is going to be a bit of a problem, so we'll leave that one in and just remove these two. That won't fit in there otherwise. Okay, so that's too far, and that's too far as well. So lots of these little things, you can just make small tweaks to the factory and it will improve it. So all these little things I'm doing, whoops, I did not mean to do that. All these small things, right, will just improve the flow of resources, and just by improving the, oops, I didn't mean to do that either, I wanted to keep that one. Just by improving the flow, you can actually improve your factory by a lot. Now, again with these, okay, because this just means, you know, we've got 20 resources just sitting on the ground, or just sitting on a belt not doing anything. Now, we'll just make sure that's all okay. Seems to be. Now, I'm not sure where all of this is planned to go. Gear wheels, you're better off just making them locally. You don't want to be transporting gear wheels everywhere. Common kind of, actually, okay, we'll do this like this. Actually, we'll do it back by one and come here like this. That's not going to work. We'll just pick that up quickly. Okay, in. Much better. Now, what we'll do is we'll come here like this. And again, this is just trying to straighten out how the resources flow in the factory. Making sure they're trying to avoid U-turns where we can. U-turns are generally bad. Whoops, this one. Oh, there. Okay, and that'll kind of be as far as the gear wheels go. You don't want them to go any further than that in the factory. If you need them again, make them. Don't try and transport them from the very start, because all you end up with is a situation where your gear wheels are just being eaten, or your iron supply is just being eaten by your gear wheels, and you're really struggling to get it through the factory. Now, here, what we can do, right? This is just another example of where trying to take resources too far and do too much with things where you just need to do it locally. So for example, right, your slow inserters, okay, all you need to do, right, is remove this, right, and get rid of this bus idea, because you're never going to need inserters deeper in the factory. That's just not going to happen. Okay, so you go with an inserter, a splitter here, go here, do this, come up here. I'll just get it away from that. Okay, and now here is where you do your fast inserter build, okay, and then your smart inserter build, all here. Okay, this will split 50-50 between your research and your factory for your inserters. All right, you can pull your iron up and in, okay, and that's really the way you should be doing things there, because carrying yellow inserters off here, you're only ever going to use them in two places, okay, for fast inserters and smart inserters, and maybe long-handed inserters. And all of this, you know, fancy design becomes pointless the further into the game you get, because you get logistics robots, so they move everything around for you, you know. Same token, belts, right? There's no reason to carry these deeper into the factory. All you're ever going to use them for is your research first and foremost, and then your transport belts. Okay, so that means what you can do, right, is split them off, come here, throw down two factories, and where are some factories? Alright, well, I'll just grab that one. No, where'd it go? There it is. Yeah, throw down a factory, right, make your red belts here, and just do it locally. Grab your iron from up there. So the most you ever want on a main bus is green circuits, copper, steel, and iron. That's the 4. If you have more than 4, you're doing something wrong. You've got too many. Okay. The idea is you want to make things locally, because then that allows you to have the most control. Alright, if you try and get copper cable, right, deeper into the factory, you'll just find that with every split, right, it becomes an issue, and you just don't have the throughput. You physically cannot get enough of them onto a belt. Same with gear wheels. Gear wheels are kind of a middle of the road, but it just makes things harder to control. So with your factory, right, when you're running around and you're trying to make it better, what you have to do then is you have to upgrade copper, like your actual copper wire production, and then you have to upgrade your copper plate production, and you find you have to upgrade and do so many upgrades, and it doesn't really get you anywhere. Whereas, with kind of the design ideas that I'm preaching, you can just basically upgrade copper plate, and then that just feeds everything, because everything is made locally and it all runs off copper plate. So the more copper plate you can put in, the better everything runs, and it kind of solves itself. So that's my thoughts on the matter. Yeah. Right. So we'll just fix this as well while we're here. We can I'm picking up a ton of stuff right now. It's another one everyone remember that factory that we had where it was like central bus of everything? It's very similar to that. There's just too many buses. You want 4 buses, no more. 4 buses is plenty. Okay. Right, that's that done. Now what we need is to throw away some of our transport belt, which will Rightio. So that is the main factory somewhat fixed. To fix it perfectly, I would come and sort this out and change this to direct insertion. I'd get 3 of these, run into 2 of these. That's the ratio, and if we can get that going, we'd be fine. Now, iron plate's a bit of an issue at the moment. That's okay. Rightio. Well, I'm going to stop this episode here, because I think we've covered pretty much everything we can cover without getting really complicated and in-depth and it taking a very long time. So that is my thoughts on this factory by Silman. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you'd like me to have a look at your factory and ways I could improve it, send through your save to my email. It's rootnegative@gmail.com. I'd love to see what your creations are, and hopefully I can be of some assistance to them. Hopefully I've helped with this one. I'll send the save back to Silman and see what he thinks. I've been a little bit harsh in this episode, I think, maybe. And that's only because I keep seeing the same designs in the community, and these designs, they keep popping up, and they're close, they're nearly there, but not quite. They just need a little bit more refinement, a little bit more work, and they'd be as good as anyone's going to build anywhere in the game. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.